Hello guys, welcome back. Now today we're going to talk about the building beginner guide. It's basically a dedicated building only guide where I'm gonna try to explain as easily as possible, as brain dead as possible, this part of the game that I'm sure is going to filter a lot of people out. And I'm here today to stop that from happening as much as I can. But again, if you still have some question after the video, feel free to post a comment below or come ask me live at twitch.tv/JKZN. Now, first of all, you need to understand that the building is part of the game. Whether or not you're going to trivialize it by using blueprints, for example, which we're going to learn today as well, or not, it's still going to be something that you have to do a little bit because the game really wants you to tackle this type of content as well as the PvE, obviously, right? But even though you might want to do it as little as possible, you still have to care about it a little bit, and that's why the game provides you with a lot of tutorials that you can access by going here and doing the simulation. You can do literally every single tutorial. Some of these will also give you a blueprint for a already pre-made structure combo that you can just place down, and as long as you have the material, it's just ready to go, right? Even though obviously the blueprint are not going to be the most efficient, but you might just not care, right? Because you just want the facility to be done and you don't have to worry about it. So today we're going to tackle the basics, understand how it works, understand how everything works in the surface level, and then maybe I'll follow up with some other videos on the channel for dedicated facilities and or blueprints, ideas, or combo like that, right? So first of all, let's begin with the most useful facilities. When you start the game and you do the main story, you will very early get this area for you at the PAC, and in the core AIC area, you're gonna have like a smaller zone than this. Obviously, this is like fully upgraded in size. And you're gonna have that tower over there. That tower is literally the center of everything in this first zone. So everything else in the map stems like a web from the core AC area. And how do you do that? Basically, that is where the electricity comes from. And you want to attach everything, obviously, to the electricity outlet in a way. So what you have to do is make use of certain two types actually of structures that you're going to have to use a lot everywhere to power up stuff and to bring electricity where electricity isn't. So in like the open world, when you need to power up certain structure that are like locking you out, or maybe there is loot there and you need to open the zapping door by powering it up with like a relay. And speaking of that, the best structure that you need to learn how to use and familiarize with are basically these. I prepared them like here in a line. First of all, you're gonna obviously have a lot of relay towers to bring electricity everywhere. They connect by pressing the start transmission. You're gonna have a cable on you, as you can see. It follows you. You have an 80 meters maximum until either the next relay power or the AIC unit. You go here and you connect it, or vice versa, that works too. And you plug, boom. And now you plugged it. Now it didn't do it because I'm already in the power grid, but if I was outside, it would plug it. And now that relay is providing electricity because it's connected to the main tower. After that, you want to care about the electric pylon. The electric pylon is basically a area of electricity that the electric pylon gives once connected to the relay tower. The same way you connect the relay tower to the ASC, you will connect the relay tower to the electric pylon while outside of the area. You will do this, connection successful, and now while you're placing this, you will see an area of effect that will power up units or not. So for example, the refining unit or the shredding unit is going to tell you that it's not in the power grid because it doesn't have any electricity going to it. The way to do power up majority, if not all of the facility, is to plant a electric pylon nearby so that the area hits it. So you can do that. Now, as you can see, it doesn't say that anymore. He has the electricity flowing, and now you decide to turn on or off the facility. If you need it or if you don't need it, it's gonna tell you how much power to use, and it's gonna tell you like, okay, let's do something, right? So the most important material, the most important like towers are the relay tower the electric pylon, the zipline pylon, so that you can climb on and zip around. And obviously that needs the facility as well, the electric one, the electric pole as well. You climb on this, and this will attach to nearby zip lines. So you can click, and this will be helping you throughout the whole world by zipping around and going to places that otherwise will take way too long to do, right? And just go back at any point. You can also later on make the better zip lines that will give you automation to your navigation, so it's gonna be really easy to go around the world like that, and you can use it to bring yourself everywhere you need. Now, the refining unit and the shredding units are some of the very first facilities that you should care about, and the thermal bank. These are very important. Now, the refining unit and the shredding units are going to be used in the most basics, first tier refinement for the AC products. For example, when you are getting your very first material is going to be the originium ore, which you will then convert into oligocrust by sending it through the refining unit, the one that I just showed you. Same will apply to the second materials you discover later on in the story, and you get the mining rig for it, the mining drill. It's going to give you the amethyst ore, then you refine into the amethyst fiber. And amethyst fiber and oligocrust are some of the most important material you need to care about, and almost everything stems from these two. And then obviously there's going to be a third material later on, but they're always going to go through the refining unit. The next facility that we were talking about is the shredding unit. Now, the shredding unit is done to make powders of any kind. The most important powders that you're going to immediately need is going to be the Bach flower powder, and then eventually right after the sandleaf powder. These are needed to make like multiple important materials, such as potions for your characters, or even more refined materials for bigger level of potion, bigger tier of potion later on, which is both used for you character and also for the trading, which we're gonna speak about in just a second, for the trading between region, which is important and is connected to the building and to the factory portion of the game, because this is where you make it. So these two Bach flower and sandleaf obviously have to go through the shredder to make them into a powder, and then with the powder you can make certain items. Now, the sandleaf is more oriented towards the gearing, while the Bach flower is more used towards the healing and stuff like that. Also important, the more you are planting and you're placing down units, the more energy you're going to need, right? This refining unit, for example, is going to use 5 power. This is going to use a 5 power. If you're using a pylon, maybe the pylon is going to have its own like need of electricity. Other buildings, like for example the planters, are going to need 20 power. Then it's going to skyrocket, and as you can see at the top of the screen, you'll see 1.71k out of 1.86k, which is my current electricity cap and the current electricity usage that I'm doing. This is what I'm doing right now. All of this combined, everything lit up, everything working, is going to consume so much. So eventually you're going to be like, okay, I don't have enough. You're going to start with 500 electricity max, and you go like, okay, how can I expand this electricity? I need the 600, but I only have 500. What can I do? This is where you start using the thermal bank, and this is why I said it's like one of the most important facilities, units. And this is basically can be fed different type of materials to give you an output of a certain amount of power depending on the items that you put in. So if you are self-sufficient and you're producing more than you consume of originium ore, you're going to have leftover originium ore, which can be funneled into the thermal bank, which once powered up will give you the power that it tells you. So if you put a thermal bank down and it's eating the ore, it's going to give you 50 forever. As long as you power it up with the ore, it's going to give you 50. Now later on, if you are able to self-sustain the batteries, you can put those instead inside, and they're going to give you even more and more and more, as you can see, power per thermal bank, so that you can easily power up all of your bank, all of your base, right? So this is another important item that you need to remember. Obviously, when you are in this zone, you can also press E to spawn the conveyor belt, which connects at the bottom and at the front of your facilities. As you can see, most of the facilities that utilize items, they eat an item and they provide an item. So how do they work? Basically, they need to get an item from your bank, from your warehouse, from your storage, which is when you press your inventory backpack, it will also show you the depot of the whole region. So this is all I have in my whole region, and if I need a material, we need to take from this. How do we do that? Early on, you will have to rely on the ASC unit, which, as you can see, has entrances and exits. Obviously, the triangle pointing outward is going to be an exit, and you can also tell by looking at the conveyor belt movement. And the AIC unit has 6 outputs, but it also has a lot more. It has 12 inputs, so you can put a item that is generated by one of your facilities and spit out. The material that they spit out can go back into the AIC unit at first. Then, after you have enough coins, enough tickets, stock bills, you can go to this guy over here and increase your size, and most importantly, as soon as possible, try to upgrade and unlock the depot bus. The depot bus is this tube over here, which is going to act as a storage point. So at any point, as long as you are attaching something to this tube, you can create an opening and use this unloader to select which materials this unloader is going to provide. So, okay, I need this Originum powder. You click it, and from now on, this will only spit out Originum powder or whatever you decided to give it. You can make it really easily. When you go to the facility list, as you can see there, you click, you can see all of the facilities, even the ones that you don't have access to. They will be looking like this, but they're still here, and you can check how they're made. And you can just go and make a unloader, and you go insufficient quantity, construct now. Yes, you need 20 amethyst part. Okay, you start making them, right? And then you place it down, and it's gonna look like this. Now, let's assume you want to connect it to a refining unit, right? You will obviously, you can move it at any point, by the way. You can come here, orientate, you see the arrows, you need to rotate it to the point where the entrance of the refining unit is facing the depot unloader exit, so that you can press E and use the conveyor belt to connect A to B and form a line. Now, you ask the depot unloader to provide a specific material inside the Originum ore. Now it's going to start spitting the Originum ore and putting inside the refining unit. Now, this refining unit now is not powered because you are not inside a electric pylon. So you need to give it electricity. It's really simple. So what you can do is make a new one, or bring one nearby that you're not using too much. You can put it here as long as it's inside the area. Once you place it down, it will be powered up and it's gonna start working. Now, it's making all of this Origo crust, is consuming one, and in 2 seconds makes one new item. Consumes one, makes a new one. Now, where are they going? They're going nowhere, because they doesn't have anything that is coming out of his outside, right? So what you can do is utilize another very important unit, which is protocol stash. Now, the protocol stash is the same size, but it basically works as a momentary stash, or you can belt-free teleport these materials every 8 seconds. Whatever it's inside gets teleported inside the main tower, which is the regional depot, right? So all you need to do now is tell them, okay, these materials need to go inside this so that they can be teleported back into the ASC unit. Now, this one will do that every time you have enough. Now, that's locked because I have enough, I have capped materials. However, if I go and pick up the amount of, and that it's overcapping, and I give it a little bit of time, it will start depositing the materials, as you can see. Every 8 seconds, whatever it's inside gets deposited. Poof. Right? Now, this will go forever. Now, you can use a loader to, instead of using this, and let's say you don't want to wait, you can like do this instead. Make it go back into a loader instead. You have to make the loader, which you will, and you can do it at the same point as the unloader, and just do this instead. Now the materials go back into the depot without passing through the protocol stash, which might be annoying because it's 8 seconds of delay before. Now it's stopped because it's capped. Otherwise, it wouldn't be stopped. This is basically the reason why it stopped. So we're gonna do this to show you again. As you can see now, I made a little bit of space, so it's working. And this is basically all there is to it to know about the basic working of every facility. The only difference would be that the refining unit is going to provide a item that then gets used by something else. So let's say we're not doing this. We are halfway, let's say. Now this material needs instead to be going into something else, let's say a grinder. So we're gonna get this and we're gonna grind it out, let's say a shredder or something. We're gonna put it inside a shredder instead, so that way it's going to make this weird powder. Now with this weird powder, we can either put it inside something else, or we can just put it back on the deposit that I showed you just now, and put it in the basic deposit now. Let me make one electric pylon because it is not working, and now we can do poof, and now it's working. Now obviously it's up to you to care about tidying this up. This is just a mess, complete mess, but it's just like to explain to you the basic logic of just the base, right, and how it works. So this is like the basics. So the only way this gets more complicated if you need like multiple steps. But it doesn't get more complex than this, not that much. There are facilities that need 2 materials, and there are facilities that might be needing 2 materials faster than the third materials. So let's say, I'll give you an example of something that I'm already doing. Let's say you want to make your batteries for the packaging unit, right? As you can see here, this is an example of more complicated stuff, which is still fine. As you can see here, I need way more Originium powder than Ferrium part. It takes 10 seconds to make a Valley battery. So if I need 15 Originium powder and I'm providing way more than I need, it's going to cap. So if the Originium powder is not that important because I can provide it very fast, then I should maybe take into consideration the change of plan of having to provide 2 Ferrium part instead of 2 powder and 1 Ferrium, because this takes more, but this takes way too much to be provided. Or I can also go back here and add another Ferrium part from somewhere else. Obviously I would have to move the facility, but I can do 2 and 2, and maybe that would be way better, right? So there is a little bit of like tuning it yourself to understand. Obviously I'm gonna try my best to make like better blueprints for you guys to do, even though the code is not gonna work, but you can at least do copy the structure of it if you want. Otherwise, after release I will provide the codes as well, because you can do the codes right now on the blueprint, but the codes are in the beta and they're not gonna work in the release date. Speaking of blueprints, how do you do the blueprints? Now let's assume you made this structure and it's really good, and you wanna copy it for later, or you wanna share it with players. At this point, all you have to do is go to the top-down mode, then press M for the press X actually for the bulk action. Then you use your mouse or whatever. Maybe if you're playing on phone, you use your thumb. You use your thumb, or you like whatever. Select everything. Then you do save blueprint with Control S or whatever the keybind is going to tell you to do. And now you save the blueprint. test, test, and then tags or whatever. This is going to tell you which facility list it's this using, and then you save it. Now all we can do is place it again. Now we have the whole place, the whole combo of structures, and you can just place it over here. Boom. Now when you go back, you will see that is all yellow, which means that you didn't construct it yet. Just place down the hologram, right? So all you have to do now is construct everything that it's marked with this icon over here, right? You need to make these. So all we're gonna do is make exactly what we need. Shredding unit constructed 1. You need to make 1. All right, let's make 1. Then we do electric pylon. All right, let's make 2. Boom. And now we could just go back, submit all, and now magically everything is working. And now we literally copied that, or maybe imported from another friend or someone else that gave you the code that you can now use for yourself, right? So it's really important to master this and to use it as much as you can, especially if you don't want to build it yourself. And even if you want to build it yourself, you can still do this by using it yourself, just to copy and paste without having to redo it all the time. This is what I used to do on my planter here, my planter looper. I basically copied it like 3, 4, 5, 6 times in multiple places just to have this going around in like a bigger quantity. It clogs occasionally because this is like I want it to clog, because I want it to be maxed out constantly. So obviously sometimes it stops. Don't be scared too much of the fact that it's clogged, because it's only normal. If it's consumed by something else, it will unclog, and basically this is a way to tell you like you have more than enough. So clogging in this case is not a problem, and most of the time clog is because you have too many of that material. So either increase your cost or just leave it like that. It doesn't do anything besides consuming the energy. But if you have like infinite amount of like energy refill, then you shouldn't worry about it too much. Now, the only thing that you should worry about is whether or not you can sustain the energy. So how can I sustain this and like go to sleep without having to worry, like close the game and go away without having to worry that the facility and the factory is not going to blow up overnight? By checking the AIC report here. You click this, and this is going to show you all the materials that you're doing, how many materials are you making, and how many materials are you using per minute. All you need to worry about, this looks insane, but all you need to worry about is whether or not your yield, your blue, is higher than your yellow. As long as you are yielding more than the cost per minute, you have nothing to worry about, because it basically means that you will never run out. Now, this, for example, this is going to be like a concerning amount. This means that like I am consuming more than I am producing, which it's really easy to fix because I just started some stuff right now that it wasn't there before. So if I were to remove everything by going here, then we do the bulk action, we pick everything up and we just stash. Yes. All of this will be removed, and if we check the AIC report again, you can see that the yield is now 258 and the cost is 271. It's still like exploding, but it's going to explode very, 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 very late. Very, very slowly. What I can do is basically go and place more mining drills. That's how you fix this. In this case, in the case of like constructed materials, let's say we go and check how the batteries are going. I am basically making 8 batteries per minute, and I'm consuming 5 per minute, which means that this is going to be permanently sustainable. Now, if I were to increase my yield a lot, I could then use the battery not only for energy, but also for the outpost trading. What is the outpost trading, and why is it connected to the base? Because the outpost management is going to give you an overview on all of your other bases that you can use to build your own things and to help yourself. Each camp that you get given here is another factory zone that you can expand as big as your main. So if you want to expand those, you need to have a lot of stock bills. How do you get your stock bills? By doing this with the good trading with your camp. And if you click here, you will notice that depending on the level, the trading is going to require certain material. In this case, I could either make Buck Capsule B and give it to them, or the Valley Battery, which I'm also using at the same time to power up my base. Now, I have plenty of those because it's been a couple of days, and I'm basically a little bit over capping. But if you were to get to level 3 now, you will see that you can also use more and more refined materials that are a little bit harder to make, but they give you way more tickets. This will get easier and easier in terms of ticket income, but it will be a little bit more complicated to self-sustain these like purple items. But if you do, with time, you will reap a lot of bigger benefits than normal. Now, this is something that you need to care about, because now you can use the stock valley builds to do everything. So let's say we want to go to the power plateau and go to the last area, and we teleport there, right? It's not going to be maxed out, but since I did a lot of trading for these materials, this is like super small, as you can see, right? Now all I can do is find the bird NPC, which is over there. We go here, we talk to him, and you go like, okay, I want to expand my area. Okay, let's do area expansion 2, or I can get more bus. I'm gonna do the expansion first. Now it's bigger. Now I can put a bus there, which again is the tube that provides you with the normal material. Then I can do depot bus 2 if I want, but it's only one. So for now, I'm gonna focus on area expansion instead by spending 640k, which I'm not gonna do now, but this basically gives you more space. You saw before there was super cramped. Now we have more space. We can space out stuff, and now we have more zone here to use to maybe have enough space to put like more facilities on this side, right? So it is important, regardless if you want to do the trading that much or not, because this is something that you want to do to improve your global factory power. So basically that's it, right? Now, it is important to notice that the AIC unit doesn't have many outports. So before you unlock the bus, you should probably worry about not using the output of the ASC facility to do complicated stuff. Like, let's say if there is a material like this is not a good idea. If you have to, that's okay. But if you can use the bus instead, it would be better, because the ASC unit has 14 entrances, but only 6 exits. So it would be better for you to use these exits to go on facilities that only need a couple of materials, like only one material, instead of having to clog the whole side just to power up one material, one unit, right? You need 3 material, just clog everything on this side just to power up this grinding unit. So this is not a good idea. If you have the bus, you should use it. Now I just unlocked it. So this is like a little bit of a tip, right? Now, something that I haven't touched on yet is the towers. Now, the towers are really good. You don't have to use them if you don't care, but you can build the towers on known spawn points for monsters. There is one nearby here, I believe. And by doing that, you can plant defenses so that next time you are attacked, or there is like a place with monsters that constantly spawn, like that's an enemy, for example, you could put a tower defense wherever you want in the world and help you fight monsters. Specifically, there is a well-known starting on the hub. There's a well-known starting zone which should be around here. You can see it by clicking here. Severe Energy Alluvium. You can go there and fight the monsters for loot, good loot, but you don't have to fight it yourself necessarily. As you can see, you can plant towers so that next time you click on this and you spawn the enemies, the towers will help you. So you don't have to like suffer yourself alone necessarily. You can if you want. If you like doing that, you can. But you can help yourself by doing by placing tower and blasting them. The towers are also used in some tower defense secondary minigame that you can do for extra extra points, let's say, of growth on the outpost, but you don't have to do it. It's just something that if you like to do it, you can, and you get rewarded. So you don't have to feel like you need to do it. So that is pretty much it, I believe. And for now, we're gonna stop here. Obviously, hopefully you use the timestamp to learn everything about specific things and go around the video to check different topics. But that is it for today's video. I'm going to probably do more detailed video or dedicated video about certain things, but this should be the start of the building guide. More on the channel, feel free to subscribe, and for anything else, leave a comment or come on Twitch at twitch.tv/JKZN. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.